How to double your salary, part 2. Chapter 3, how to win interviews. What we see in ourselves is our potential and what we are capable of doing. But what others see is what we have already done. The purpose of the interviews is to bridge the gap between our potential and our past achievement. We have to convince the interviewer that our capabilities, potentials, and suitability to the new assignment. How to win all interviews. I know many of you must be wondering how can we get selected in all interviews. Before we get to that, I want to dispel one thought of all those who face interviews. You don't have to answer all questions. Some questions are asked to know your response, some to know your attitude. One advice I want to give all youngsters is never lose your confidence if you do not know the answer. At the same time, never fake an answer. Know that knowing is not a possibility, but misleading is not desirable. The second myth is that successful people are successful in their first attempt. Not necessarily. In fact, the other way around, many of them learned from their mistakes. If somebody asks me what is your success rate, I would say maybe 1 is to 100. So, or it can be 1 is to 1 also. So, success rate is not a criteria, but when you apply for a job, getting an interview call is the first step. So, once you get the interview call, and we have to make our best efforts to see that we get selected there. The next topic is qualification and eligibility. I'll narrate one incident where I learned that qualification and eligibility are not necessarily proportional to our salaries. While I was trying to get a job overseas, I met with a job agent called Verma. He was a job consultant who opened my eyes and helped me to understand salary structures in different companies and salaries offered by them. Till I met Verma, I used to think qualification and eligibility are important to get a job, but final selection is done by one person and he or she decides whether you are in or out. Sometimes interviewer may not have enough time or may be busy selecting the candidates in several places. You may have a very small window and you have to perform in that window. Even some of the positions in Middle East, I came to know that they're reserved for one category of people. And also, sometimes you find in certain jobs people from one location, one region, language, even from one university. Like, there is a lobby of Harvard graduates, and it's easier for an Harvard graduate to get in that lobby. In the Middle East, Muslim candidates have got a better chance. Some of the international reputations, there may be many more considerations. But never ever go by these pre- predetermined ideas. You put your best efforts and attempt your interviews. Who pays more? It's obvious unless the employer makes more profit, they cannot pay best salaries. So if the competition is more, uh, the company feels they have to raise your salaries. I found American companies tend to pay a little more than other companies as they want to keep their competitive edge. So I decided to apply for an American company. Uh, and I briefed Verma about it, and then I forgot. Soon uh, I got an offer, and I had to reject with Verma. Similarly, a couple of offers I rejected. Uh, Mr. Mr. Verma was wondering whether I was interested in a job or why I was rejecting the jobs. So I told him the job designation was foreman while I was a postgraduate engineer. So I didn't see a good future in that job. So I decided one day to convince Mr. Verma. Uh, so I went to Mr. Verma uh, that I'm looking for a best company and a best salary. Uh, to convince him, I took all my technical papers and published national, international journals and textbooks where my desulfurization and catalysts were quoted. So Mr. Verma was shocked to see my big bundle of books and papers I carried. He asked me, "You want to sell these scrap papers?" I got really annoyed and explained to him these are the papers which prove my technical qualifications. And he laughed and said, Raj, nobody pays for your knowledge. You get paid for your work. And of course, I'll try to get a best job for you. But don't expect that all your international journals and papers will get you the best salary. So it was an eye opener for me. One day, Mr. Verma called me and informed me about an interview with Mr. Arnold, who was to interview me. Arnold was on his way from Singapore to Houston, and it's a multinational oil company. So many of you could guess it, but in this book, I'm not mentioning the company name. And he told me, Verma advised me that don't worry about the salary. It's already taken care. You just go and attend the interview. So my interview uh, went on like this. And the idea why I'm sharing this with you is that when the interviewer already decided to recruit you, or he is in a dire need of, the hands, the interview will be like this. Arnold, I heard you are very qualified and have many published technical papers to your credit. Why you want to join our company? So I said, thanks for your compliments. I presume I'm technically suitable for the job. And how do you utilize me is your responsibility. But I can share with you one certificate given by my professor during my college days. And I showed him the certificate, which said, whichever company he joins, he will be an asset. So Arnold was impressed with that. He said, when are you joining us? Now, surprise was my side. So I never expected that he would offer me the job so quickly. Then I told him that I had refinery experience, whereas the job offer is petrochemicals. Arnold laughed. He was a doctorate in chemical engineering, and he said, if you are good in one field, I'm sure you can do equally well in other ones, he said. We discussed about the technicalities of operation and design of fired heaters. Then uh, he said he will send me the offer letter tomorrow. And that being Saturday, so I was just a little bit skeptical that tomorrow is Sunday, must be holiday. He said, no, I'll work specially for you to send an offer for you. Uh, and don't worry that you don't have to work more than 5 days a week. And in fact, till date, the job offer I got from this multinational company is the best jump I got it, and it exceeded my present salary by more than 10 times. Of course, there is a reason for it because the foreign exchange rates also made a little bit of jump easier. Uh, Whatever may be the reason. So I met my target when I said I got the next jump for more than 10 times my salary. So for at least a decade, I thought I would don't have to worry about my targets. But then there I realized that I was wrong because the higher you go, then it will become tougher for you to go to the next job. So in the next part, we will discuss about how my best salary has given me a trouble for the next change of mind, and how we need to go for half step and jump philosophy. Thank you. And this is the end of part 12, where the interviews, uh, how you attend them, I wanted to share. While doing so, my career progress is also discussed. Thank you.